Welcome to Unshakable with Human Design, the show dedicated to helping entrepreneurs use human design to shift from hustle to flow without sacrificing results. Come here to become an unshakable human and build an unshakable business according to your human design. I'm your host, Nicole. Hello and welcome to Unshakable with Human Design, everybody. I'm your host, Nicole, and I am so happy to be here with you for another episode in our profile series. We're talking about human design profiles over the next, we still have another 8 episodes after this one. So buckle up. Get comfy. We're going to go through this together. We're breaking down all of the profiles in human design here for you. 1 episode per profile. We have all 12 of them. We are doing, this is our 4th. So we did the 1-3, the 1-4, the 2-4. Now you see how this works? We're going through the profile. So it's the 1-3, then the unconscious line changes to the 1-4. The 1 stays the same, the second number changes. Now the first number change again. Now we're going 2-4, and now we keep the first number the same. We go 2-5. This is how it works. We're like stepping up a little ladder, and we're going up the hexagram in our different ways, and that gives us different flavor to the way the sun and the earth gates show up. This is how we get flavor. This is how we get somebody like me who's a 64-5. 64th gate is my conscious sun. 5th line is my line. Beyonce, 64th gate, 1 line, different expression of that energy. And this is what gives us flavor. This is what makes us all different. This is what makes us us, right? So this can be so powerful. Profile is one of the core aspects. I would say there's like the human design trifecta, the foundation that everything stands on. And if you have these things where they're off, everything feels off. So if you're looking into your sun gates or you're looking into your Mars gates, or you want to know your conscious Mercury and your messaging and all of these other things, if you are not in alignment with your type, authority, and profile, that's not going to necessarily feel like you're getting the bang for your buck for all of that other work you're doing, because these fundamental core aspects are not in alignment. And we need to get those right first. You'll see greater change in your life. Things will become a lot clearer if you focus there first. Then you get to the other stuff. This is like the cake batter. It's like if the cake sucks, we don't need to worry about the icing. We want to get the cake right. This is the cake, okay? So we're diving into the 2-5 profile today. We're going into, and the 2-5 is known as the Hermit Heretic in traditional human design. And this is going to tell us so much about somebody. If they're a 2-5, they have a very specific energy. They're going to feel different than a lot of people too. They're going to have a really unique personality because this happens to be one of the rarer profiles. Now, like I was saying, the 1-3, the 1-4. The 1-3 is a main profile. Lots of 1-3s. 1-4 is a step in between the 1-3 and the 2-4. There's a very small window, just a small amount of time. I think it's like sometimes between 2 or 3 hours in a day that you can be born in that time and be a 1-4. Whereas you might have like almost an entire day, like 10, 12 hours that you could be a 1-3. Probability is so much higher. So you are a rarer bird if you are a 2-5, or if you are a 1-4, or if you're a 3-6. So we're in one of these interim like bridging profiles, the one that's like just before we get to the next main profile, we're going to take this half a step here. We're just going to change this one piece, right? So profile gives us some unique flavor to who we are. And it tells us what shadows there are. There are shadows to the 2. There are shadows to the 5. And this is where it can become such a profound tool in how we tune ourselves to our highest self and to our greatest potential, because there's great potential in every single profile. You were here to be a 2-5. There's a lot of focus that we put on the purpose, on the incarnation cross. And in most readings that I do with people, when I ask them what do they want to know, they'll say, I want to know my purpose. I want to know how to live my purpose. And that's a better question than what's my purpose? How do I live my purpose? And my answer is embody the rest of your design, and your purpose is going to show up. But profile and purpose are not kind of connected. They are locked together, because I can't live out my purpose of being a cross of dominion, truly my purpose as me, without being a 5-1 cross of dominion. It has to be that way, because my gates of my cross are 5th line gates on the conscious side and 1 line gates on the unconscious side. Doesn't matter what those gates are. If I'm not in alignment with the profile, with the flavor of those, then things are not really going to work. I'm going to feel like things are off. I bring different things to the world than Beyonce, right? I have, obviously, clearly, we have very different purposes, but we share something. But the way that she expresses it and the way that it works for her works very differently for me. I bring different things to this world. And there are no rules. I'm really strong and constantly saying how there's no rules. It doesn't mean, well, if you have this, then you have to do this. No, but it does help you if you understand your profile to know probably why maybe some things that you've done have or have not worked for you, to know what your shadows are so that you can be aware of them. And you can understand how overcoming them, and you can experiment. You don't have to take my word for it. You can experiment with, what if I worked on this thing? What if I surrendered to this thing? What if I put a little bit more effort or focus on this thing? What would happen then? We get better answers when we ask more specific questions, and that's what human design allows us to do. And profile is no exception in this. Profile is such a targeted way to understand how we operate naturally. What do we have to surrender to? And what do we need to dive into? What do we want to keep in mind so that we don't feel like we just need to be fixed all the time, or that something just is the way it is? What do we have to look at differently and maybe embrace? So in your business, I talk about this as being your X factor. This is how you really stand out from everybody else who's doing what you do, maybe sounds like you, maybe it seems on paper like they're doing the same thing, but you're doing it differently. And sometimes a lot of people come to me and they don't really know how they do it differently. If I ask them how they're different, then they might know, they might have like a bit of a sense to it. Might say, well, I care a lot. And it's like, we got to go deeper than that. And profile, type, the other aspects of your chart can give you windows into how that thing that you do is actually a core strength. So the way that I coach people, one, it helps them get better results because I'm coaching them for who they are. But as an X factor, it tells them what should they talk about in their content. What is someone who is a 1-3 is going to have a really different way of expressing themselves and content that works for them, that feels right for them than mine, right? They're going to have that 3 line. They're going to be sharing more of their failures than I am. They're going to be sharing a little bit more of that like kind of reckless abandon that they have of going after what they want. That's their thing. That's who they are. I'm a 5-1. That we're talking about the 2-5 today. 2-5, really different energy than somebody who has a 1 in their profile. The 2 changes everything. No matter where you have a 2 in the chart, no matter where you have a 2 in your profile, if you are a 2-4, a 2-5, a 5-2, or a 6-2, you are going to have a very different flavor than anybody else because you have that naturalness of the 2. There is this mystical quality to the 2. A lot of psychics are 2s. A lot of channelers are 2s. I had a call with someone the other day, and I asked her what her design was, and she was telling me some things, and I was like, are you a 2-4? And she was like, yes. And I'm like, yeah, I would get 2-4 vibes. Usually, and it doesn't have to, again, no rules, but a lot of times when I'm speaking to people, I can pick up on what they are. And a lot of times the people who are very much demonstrators, facilitators, things like that, it's their natural talent that we're marketing. And a lot of times those people are 2s. So it is your X factor in your business. It's about, raising that up as a core strength and positioning yourself so that the things that maybe, so like a 2 line, a lot of times 2s have trouble explaining what they do. So we have to get around that somehow. One, I can put some words to what they do. And we have ways inside my program that I work with twos. Well, I work with everybody, but I created it specifically for the twos. I created these demo sessions for people who are in my tier 3 of my Business by Design program. I created demo sessions so that they could demonstrate what they did so I can help them put words to it. And I could help them articulate the value of what they do. Because they often don't necessarily know. They need to get it from other people. So they need to have that platform to do that. So we create it. So there's that part. But then there's also owning the fact that if you can't voice what you do, twos can sometimes feel small because of that. They can shrink. They cannot market themselves and really put themselves out there in a way that's empowering because they think they have to do it everyone else's way. No, your X factor is you put out the thing of like, I don't know how I do what I do. I'm just so damn gifted, right? That's what this is about. So your X Factor, I've actually created a guide for this called the X Factor by Design Guide. If you want to know the X Factor of each of your profiles, of each of your profile lines, DM me the word X Factor on Instagram. I'm at Nicole Official. We'll send you the guide right there. Or if you want to go a level deeper and start deconditioning your design, getting rid of, or I don't like getting rid of, shifting the shadows and stepping into the gifts of your design, whether it's your type or your profile, we've released tapping recordings where I help you decondition those aspects of your design deeply. This is how we shift and we decondition quickly, not in 7 years like they tell you in traditional human design. All you have to do is DM me tapping on Instagram and we'll send you those. Okay? All right. So one last little announcement and then we're going to dive in further into the 2-5. There's a contest that we are running right now. So if you share, take a screenshot of this episode in your player, share it on Instagram, tag me, and then say a little something about why you love this show. Any episode in the series you can do this with, and you can do this more than once. If you share and help us get the word out about the show, you'll be entered to win a human design reading with me here on the show, which is really awesome. Christy Wild did this a couple months ago. The last time we ran this contest, she was our winner. She had this amazing reading on here. She loved it. So I hope you go back, listen to that episode, check it out, see if that's something that you want, and just share the show, please. We would appreciate the help in getting the word out about this show and helping to expand our audience to your friends and family. And we are happy to reward you for that. So you get an entry every time you share, you get a separate entry into the contest. Okay. So without further ado, let's dive into the 2-5. 2-5 is the Hermit Heretic. Again, we have harmony in these like we did with the 1-4. The 2 being that middle of the first floor of the trigram, the 5 being the middle of that second floor. They are harmonic. Now, it's almost like they're like flip sides of each other, sort of. They both carry the projection field. They have different projection fields. So someone who is a 2-5 or a 5-2, you carry 2 different types of projection. One is the 2-line projection, which is your personality, which is the one you're probably going to identify with more. You're going to have people that, like I would say, it's like an X-ray. They see right into you. It feels vulnerable. Sometimes I've heard that from a lot of 2s. If they're specifically 2-5s and 2-4s, those people tend to feel like, yeah, it just feels really uncomfortable. People like, I feel like they can see into me, like I'm naked. I had one client tell me, he's like, I feel like I'm naked. And you kind of are. So that projection field, what it's doing is it's calling people to you. It's drawing, projection fields draw attention. And they try to draw attention for a certain purpose. And this purpose is to call out your talent. So your talent makes it out in the world. 2s are talented, naturally talented. Now we combine that to that hermit with the 5 line. The 5 line, we're combining talent with practical solutions now. The heretic, the one that says, I can fix it. I got it. Now these 2, they're harmonic, but honestly, they kind of can shock each other. The 2 is like, just leave me alone. And the 5's like, here I am, let me help. I can save you. That's the 5. But the projection field of the 5 is different. It's not an X-ray. It is a foggy mirror, is how it's always been described. I see it like a veil. But it is a mirror. We're called the karmic mirror. The 5 is referred to as like a karmic mirror. That Picture a foggy mirror where you look at somebody. So you're looking at that 2-5. And at the same time, you can see deeply into them, but yet there's also this mysterious aspect to them where you're like, but I kind of don't know about you. What you're seeing is actually a reflection of yourself. You see what you want to see. You see what you need to see. This is why 5s can be a little triggering for people, because we'll say what needs to be said a lot of times, and it's not always welcome, but it is also sometimes the projection field of the 5 is people are projecting onto you what they need help with, and they're seeing the help that they need. They see you, I think you could help me. This is a little bit different with the 2-5 because the projection field, you're dealing with it the whole time, but really the way that the 2-5 works, because of that double projection, it's almost like people are calling you out. They are projecting onto you. But I see with a lot of 2-5s, they have the talent, they have the practical solutions. They're like more analytical and structured, or want to create something. They want to make something that works. That's the 5. But they're kind of waiting for themselves. The projections, I don't want to say they don't affect them because that's not true. But they are, I think, a little bit more resilient to them, where people are calling and they're listening and they hear it, but they're almost ignoring them until they are ready to call themselves up. That's really what the 2-5 and the 5-2 has to do. They got to call themselves up. They have to choose. They choose when they're ready. And usually that's when talent meets some sort of practical solution. But I want you to think about this maybe slightly differently. They are in a place where they say, I'm ready for this to be seen. And it's either offering something practical, something that people need, or something that they feel so confident in that they feel comfortable stepping out and dealing with all those projections. Because the one thing that the 2-5 will always feel, they will feel the projections. They know people are watching. They feel it. People want something from them. People want to tell them something. They like things about them. And I'll say as a 5, it's exhausting. And it can make us want to run and hide. The 2 already wants to hide. The 2 already wants to be left alone. So these people, a lot of times what I see with them is they're struggling a lot of times to like juggle, like, should I stay or should I go? Should I step out and be seen and do this thing? Or should I just stay here and just be by myself and just like do my crafts and do the things that I love and just keep going? There is that like shyness still to the 2, but there is part of them, that 5, that is saying, absolutely not. We are not sitting here and hiding. We have a job to do. So some famous 2-5s, we have Robin Williams, I think, is a great example of the 2-5 profile, because I do think that the 2-4 can get away with a little bit more of talent. People recognize it. They talk about it. They're like passing you around. Opening doors for you is really what happens for the 2-4 when it's in alignment, when they have a good network going for them. 2-5 really has to nurture that talent. It's much more important for them to be good at what they do, to take that talent and take it from being potential to something really amazing. The 2 needs to be nurtured. The talent needs to be nurtured. So I think Robin Williams is a great example of this, in the sense that he obviously had a lot of talent, raw talent, but he both exercised it and he studied. He went to Juilliard. He was a classically trained actor. It's why he was so good. It's why he wasn't just funny. It's why you took that natural talent and you paired it with a really solid education. And that probably gave him the courage to go out there and do what he did, and why he did it so well, and why he was so recognized for that talent. I don't know if there's anybody who'd be like, Robin Williams wasn't really talented. No, that's a pretty universal agreement amongst people, is that he was a wildly gifted man. And so sad how he died, And when you talk to people who knew him, he was a very quiet man. He was very shy. Like, he had his persona, and then he really liked to hermit, and he valued that. And he spent his last days in depression and battling that, which is very, very sad. And that can happen for sure. But speaking about the nurturing of the talent, I think he's a great example of somebody who said, this is my thing, and then said, where can I get better at this? It's my thing. I'm really naturally good at it. But if I study, and I study with really great people, and I really put some structure behind this natural raw ability that I have, maybe I could be really great. And he was. Other famous 2-5s, Adele is a 2-5. She's somebody that I think we have natural raw, her talent is on display. She's a manifester as well, so she's deciding a lot. But for her, called, and she chose. I'm going to go out. She went on Saturday Night Live. Her career blew up. That was her on display. I'm taking the stage. I'm going. Rosa Parks was a 2-5. Now, there's a different type, a different spin on this, being called or being presented with something and then choosing to change, choosing to lead. Because the 2 has to call themselves to lead. The 2 has to call themselves up. She was I believe she was a generator. She was a generator or a manifesting generator, but she was definitely a sacral. I apologize, I don't know that off the top of my head. But she was a generator or a manifesting generator. And she, obviously we know what she did. She got on a bus. She was asked to give up her seat for a white woman. She refused, and she was arrested, and she became a symbol for the civil rights movement. She said no more. She called herself in that moment. She was in response to it, and she said no more. She made a choice to lead in that moment. These are really big ways of showing how this profile works. She had to choose in that moment. So I hope that this helped illustrate the 2-5. This is a fascinating profile. I always think that these people, I love seeing that combination of the talent meeting something that wants to be really useful. That is really what this is about. It's about talent that becomes useful through something that you provide personally, or it gets nurtured through that process. It values, the 2-5 values some structure and nurturing of talent sometimes more than the 2-4, because the 2-4 is just sort of like, it just happens a lot of times for them if they're in alignment. It just starts to move. The 2-5, there's a little bit more of a structure that usually supports this one. So I hope you loved this episode. I hope you tune in for all the rest of them that we have planned for you that'll be coming in the coming weeks. I appreciate you being here with us. If you want that X Factor by Design guide, DM me X Factor on Instagram. If you want the tappings, the deconditioning, you want to decondition your design fast, not the 7 years that they tell you it takes, but you want to do it quicker. And you want to dig in there with some of my EFT tappings that I've created. These are things that move my clients so fast into their gifts. All you have to do is DM me tapping for that, and we'll send you that over on the DMs, okay? Share this episode, tag me so that you can be entered into our contest. And remember, in order to have an unshakable business, you must first become an unshakable human. So thanks for letting us help you become unshakable with human design, everybody. We'll see you next time.
If you love this episode and you're a fan of the show, please show us the love on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to the show, and leave us a review. And if you'd like to connect with other entrepreneurs on their human design journey, join our free Facebook community, Human Design for Entrepreneurs. Go to NicoleLano.me/podcast links to join the group, book a human design reading with me, or access our free human design resources. We'll see you there.